Hello friends and friends of First Baptist Tulsa. This is our midweek update for January 15th, 2025. And just some things I want you to be aware of, and we're reading the scripture together. I gave a quotation on Sunday morning that I really like. St. Jerome, centuries ago, said, "Ignorance of scripture is ignorance of Christ." And so it's important that we read the scripture in order that we understand who God is and who Christ is and who Christ wants us to be. And so if you don't have a reading plan, I would encourage you, jump in with this midweek update, and every week I'm encouraging you to read very intentionally, deeply, one chapter of the Bible. But first, a few things I want you to know. January is our collection for the Caring Center of shoes. So whether you have work shoes, whether you have casual shoes, whether you have dress shoes, whatever shoes that you have that you're not wearing, donate those to the Caring Center. And when in doubt, just go. I'm not sure if the Caring Center could use these or not. Give them to us. If we can't use them, we have other people that we can pass them on to, other organizations that will be able to use them. But we want to stock up on shoes at the beginning of the year for men, women, and children, so be aware of that. And by the way, thank you for being a generous church. I also announced this on Sunday that we exceeded our missions goal for 2024. And instead of raising $300,000, we raised $400,000. Thank you for your generosity. Every penny has been sent to our mission organizations and our partnership ministries as we continue to ask God to bring His kingdom into our world. Okay, a couple things coming up toward the end of the month I want you to know about. January 23rd is our Daddy-Daughter Dance. Can I just say, I love being a part of a church that dances, and little disco is going to be happening that night. And then on January 26th, the last Sunday of the month, is our Foundation of First Sunday. And we have a foundation here at First Baptist Tulsa that helps fund a lot of things behind the scenes. But one of the things that we do once a year is we encourage people to have an estate plan. Should something happen to you, or something happen to you and your spouse, to have an estate plan that will make your wishes clear as to what to do with your resources after you're gone. Listen, I tell people all the time, prepare for your funeral. It's gonna happen, right? And as we prepare, we make it easier for those who live on after us, okay? So pay attention to that. If you don't have an estate plan, I would encourage you to get one, and we'll share with you on that Sunday morning how you can do that and to be the best steward of your resources. Okay, so here's one chapter of the Bible that I would invite you to read this week is Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And I encouraged you last week to read the whole book. And a church member in passing kind of caught me and said, I did it. I read the whole book of Ecclesiastes, and can I say, womp womp, that it's just kind of as a downer. And it is. It's realistic though. In fact, if I were to subtitle the book of Ecclesiastes, it would be the book of ugh. It just kind of leaves you feeling down. But if you look at what the book of Ecclesiastes is trying to do, it's not trying to make us feel down. It's having us think in accordance to reality and with truth. And in fact, chapter 1 starts really what I would call an exploration. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Everything is meaningless. And then what will start in chapter 1, and we'll see it more in chapter 2, the writer tries to find meaning in the places that the world says meaning should be found. And the only one that he touches base on in chapter 1 is education, knowledge, wisdom. I set out to learn as much as I could learn. The world says you'll find meaning by being smart. The world says you'll find meaning by being an expert. The world says you'll find meaning by being a person of wisdom. Well, I tried all that. And in the end, it just came up empty. In fact, if you look at the very last verse of Ecclesiastes 1, for with much knowledge comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. And so as we go through, and again, we'll handle more of these in chapter 2 of here's where the world says you can find satisfaction and purpose and meaning. The only way to really learn that this doesn't work is to experience it for yourself. I mean, I went through that time too. As I started college, I wanted to be the smartest, I wanted to be the best, and I thought that's where achievement and purpose and meaning can be found, and it falls kind of flat. The only way you can learn that is by experiencing it for yourself. And we get to go along with this journey. Now the good news is, and here's, again, it feels like womp womp, Where is purpose found? Well, that will come later, but we have to experience this. We have to go on this journey. And so read chapter 1, meditate on it. Find that one phrase that you can turn into a prayer. Give it back to God. One other phrase that I will mention here just briefly that I think is important. At the end of verse 14, I've seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Literally, that phrase is a feeding on the wind. And just think about feeding on wind. It leaves you empty. There's so much about life that leaves us empty. But there's one person in life that fills our poverty. And we'll come to that. You know who that is. That's God. We'll come to that as we go along this journey with the writer of Ecclesiastes. Do not be discouraged. Keep on reading. Read chapter 1. Pray through it. Love you. Love being your pastor. Talk to you soon.